GurlTauX. Every platform come to play. Catch our vibe, don't delay.
Facebook, YouTube streams, scrolling through your daily memes.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
Keeping it real, it's what we do. So tune in now and join our crew. Life's moving through the screen, click subscribe, don't be neat. Upbeat chatter, it's our routine.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
GurlTauX is who we are.
Come hang with us on your tablet,
Phone or screen, anywhere Gurl Talk can be seen.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
Update stories, laugh and cry. It's Gurl Talk, so don't question why. It's the show that you'll adore. Come back daily to get some more.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
GurlTauX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Gurl Talks can be seen.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
GurlTauX, log in now, watch our show. Likes and comments, let them flow. Every day we're on our way. Gurl Talk Show is here to stay.
Gurl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Gurl Talks is all about.
Well, hello. Hey, good morning. I am back. It's been a really long hiatus I have taken, and I am back. I am going to be back. I don't know which camera I'm on. I think I'm on number 2.
Nope, you're on number 1.
Oh, I am on number 1. Okay. It looks like I'm looking away from the camera. Is that one?
Yes.
No, that's not what's showing. That's definitely not what's showing.
No, you're right.
So I'm not sure which one I'm on.
You're on camera 2.
I'm on camera 2. Now I'm on camera 1. Sorry.
There you go.
Hey, I got to remember how everything works too. So I am going to start with a quote. It's I don't even know that it's a quote. It's more of a statement, but it says, "Leave the bullshit in the past."
Very fitting, huh?
Yeah. So I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. We've been doing a lot of work and stuff like that. Steve has retired. Yay.
Yay.
And he is going to join me on my show, and we're going to do things a little bit differently. And it's not just going to be me, and it's going to be a few things different. But we wanted to do it together because we have been lately, we have been doing an awful lot of, we pull the news up, or we pull, even if we're watching a show about tiny house, or we're watching a show on YouTube about whatever, or we're watching a TV show. One of us will go, pause.
Pause, wait.
Yeah.
Comment on that.
And then we have to comment on it. And man, that camera looks really, really bad. We got to do something about the lighting on that camera. Yeah, maybe pull it back a little bit and up. Yeah, like not just your face. And it has a backlight. If you push the backlight button, it kind of helps remove some of that yellowing or whatever. Ooh, that made it worse. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to continue on for a second. So I'm going to say not to make excuses or anything, but as many people know that watched my show in the past, my best friend passed away, and I just could not get back into the groove after that. I tried to, and I just couldn't. I just kept having a lot of emotional problems because of it. And I had a lot of people, maybe I should have just ignored the haters and ignored people that were messaging me. But it was like, well, why does every show have to be about Kristen? Why does every show have to be about her? Why do you have to talk about it? Because it was a very serious thing. And it affects a lot of people in this country. So I think there's a lot of people that don't mind me talking about it. But when I was in that emotional state, and also people were telling me that, it affected me in a different way that made it where, okay, I didn't want to talk about it so much, So anyway, I'm back, and Steve's going to join me, I think most of the time, if not all the time. We're also going to do some videos on some of the stuff that we create out in the shop. We might just start a different channel for that. I'm going to leave this called Gurl TauX if you're okay with that, unless you want me to change it to our talks.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, I don't know if I want it to be called.
That's an I don't know. That's an I don't know.
That's an I don't know. I can't hear you.
Well, okay.
I don't think your mic is picking up.
It's picking up, but it's just not really loud.
Okay, I can't hear you at all, like in my earpiece.
Oh, okay. That's
at all, like at all.
All right, because I can hear myself, so I don't know.
Now I hear you. I couldn't hear you before.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's not one of the best mics, but these mics are cool, but they're not the best quality. But that's okay. Anyway, so one of the things you didn't do, what did you do with the light? I
just turned the brightness down a bit.
Oh, well, don't turn it down so you look like you're in the dark room.
Well, it looked better than what it did before.
And why do you have like 14 feet above your head?
Because I'm short.
You're not that short. Like, it looks silly with that much space above your head. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull up a video, and we're going to watch it together a little bit. Give me just 1 second, because I do need to, Steve, can you talk for just a minute? Because I need to actually add a camera view on here.
Okay. So, yeah, let's see. Actually, I can tell you right off the top, like Tori said, I retired, and I actually retired 49 days ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, give him a little rundown of the retirement process and stuff like that, and it's been your history.
Yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind here in the last.
Okay, your mic sucks.
Yeah, it's going in and out. I don't know what's going on.
It's because that mic is set up to auto detect when you're talking, so it actually has a delay before it starts picking.
All right. I don't know if that changes it.
Yes, that did.
All right. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a whirl. It's still not working right.
Yeah, you just have to stay talking into the mic instead of moving away. Every time you move away, it detects that you're not there anymore.
Okay.
That's how that mic works. So you could change that mic out when I talk.
We'll be doing that. We'll be changing this one. So yeah, like I said, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It was 49 days ago that I retired, and it was 30 and a half years of service with the U.S. government.
Okay, I'm going to talk for a minute. That's obnoxious. I can't do it. While I'm talking, Steve is going to change out that mic, because that mic is absolutely horrible. And we know how people are. People can be like, I really need to be able to hear you correctly. That'll be a big complaint. And you know, we might get some complaints in this show to begin with, just because it's like all over the place and we're not quite fully set up. But we'll be back and we'll be doing it right. And we don't want this to be scripted and a specific. We're not going to. I do have teleprompters, and I might put stuff on the teleprompters for notes, but I don't want it to be scripted in teleprompters. And I want to speak freely, and I want to speak openly to people out there, because there's a lot of people that like to discuss the things that's going on and have a different opinion or a different feeling about it. And we're going to talk about all the things, all the things that are going on out there that everybody has issues with, and everything that's going on in the news, everything that's going on in the media. And like we said, some things that have nothing to do with news, like watching a YouTube or watching, like when we watch a TV show or something like that. Sometimes it's because we're like, oh my God, we are watching something that's law enforcement or military or whatever, and we'll go pause, because we have to give our commentary or our opinion on how we would never do that. That would never happen, because we're both veterans. We're both former military, of course, and my husband was a Marine for 12 years. And yes, I know, once a Marine, always a Marine, but he's no longer active duty Marine. As the commandant many years ago said, you're just in a new uniform now, so in your civilian uniform. And then I was in the military, and we both worked in medicine, and my husband was a firefighter. And, so there's been so many little things that we've done over time. And what's the problem, babe? Okay, there's a whole nother mount. I think over there. Yeah. See if that has the screw piece. Those are hard to get out. But anyway, so we both have experience in these different fields and these different areas. So we quite often will pause it and stop it and say, oh, that doesn't work that way. We would never do that way. They would get in trouble for that, but sometimes they do address it. Like we watched a show last night. We've been watching FBI. And one of the agents was able to go chase down the person that supposedly was, or allegedly was, the one who killed her husband. And she was pulled off the case, but then she talked the commander into, the director or whatever, into letting her go ahead and go on the raid or whatever and go after her and get her. I need to see her face when I arrest her, blah, blah, blah. And she let her. She's like, okay, you can go. Now, they addressed it by her resigning at the end and her saying, I'm putting in my retirement. And that was her way of addressing it, because she said, I made the first decision I ever made with emotion instead of, the way you're supposed to do it. And that's not how it's done. And I went against regulation. And because of that, I am retiring. I knew that when I start making decisions based on that, it's time to retire. So needless to say, she retired over it. Let's see. Do you have a mic now?
I don't know. Do I have a mic?
Let's see. You have a mic. Let me hear.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's so much better.
Much better. Much better.
Okay. And there is a windscreen in there somewhere.
They're down in the drawer there.
But I'll get it later. Right now, it's fine. Anyway, Steve, tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to retire and how that process was, and now how you feel 47 days after retirement.
49.
Oh, 49 days
Let's
after
get it.
retirement.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
So, like I started saying, and like Tori mentioned, I was served 12 years active duty. I was a firefighter for the Marine Corps, and I ended up going to Forest Service and doing about 4 years doing wildland fires. So I've got quite a few years experience that direction. But it just going further that way just wasn't really in my cards. So I ended up going to a small base in Northern California and working there for almost 12 years, and was fortunate enough to get a chance to come to Huntsville, Alabama, and that's basically where we're at, is in the Huntsville area, and work for a 4-star headquarters, and got a lot of experience, a lot of exposure, and it really motivated me to look to stay within that realm of that type of an atmosphere of the headquarters. So when I went to the headquarters, I met a lot of great people, learned a lot about how the view is different from that perspective than it is from an installation perspective, which makes sense. It should be that way. And was able to locate a new job here within the 4-star command. So we moved here, and we've been here now for, well, since 2022. We bought the house that we're in and get everything set up, and got to the point where everything was rolling great. Actually moved to a secondary position within the headquarters and really enjoyed it. Had a great team that we all really worked well together. Unfortunately, as things change, people move and people change jobs, and that we got to a point where, with the current environment within the government, with hiring freezes and stuff like that, there was no more movement going to a different job or going to a higher paying position, stuff like that. You're pretty much in the position you're in, and that was it. That's where you're going to be. So we talked, Tori and I did, and we're like, our goals were pretty much set. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew where we needed to be. And we went to a point where we wanted to really focus on us and the stuff that we've been doing together. So since there was no real advancement on the horizon within the federal government, and after talking with...
Now, did you explain the fact that there was a freeze and
the
all
freeze
that?
is in place, yeah. So you
And they have no idea when they're ever...
Yeah.
How long it's going to be before they...
It's
And that
gonna be
was
a while.
after the Doge
Right.
stuff,
So
right?
it's going to be a while before they lift that freeze and that. So we decided that where we were at was a good place, and we have our nonprofit that we run, and we also have the TLC Creative Concepts that we run and we work on. And so we decided that's where our focus needed to be, and that's what we decided to do.
And so our nonprofit is a nonprofit for veterans and first responders. We teach different art techniques to combat PTSD and try to help prevent suicide. Every time I see somebody who committed suicide, it just reinvigorates why we're doing it. And then TLC Creative Concepts is an art business. They work side by side, hand in hand, cohesively. They're 2 in 1, basically. We have our own shop, and they both work out of the same shop. Just a little clarifier there.
Right. So we really knew that the shop was something, TLC Creative Concepts and working with the vets through the nonprofit, through Vic's Ranch. That was a new focus for us and the direction we wanted to go when we needed to go. So that's where we're at. We are here, and now that we're settled, we got things in place. We've done a lot of work within our shop to make sure that we have a good flow, a good rhythm. We have business coming in. We've been talking and decided, we can bring the show back up. Let's do that. Let's bring up the show again.
Especially when we were watching.
You're on mute.
Oh, especially when we were watching. I don't remember who we were watching, DeBory or Brandon Tatum or something like that, and we watch the news every morning together, and that's been pushed on him because of me. Like, I want to watch and see what's been going on. He kind of got into a habit of like not wanting to watch that stuff and not wanting to pay attention to it. Really not because he wasn't interested, right, Steve? You were interested, but you weren't interested because with your work, like you couldn't have opinions and feelings, and you can't bring it to work. So the less you stay away from it being in your face all the time, the less temptation it is to bring it up or discuss it at work. Is that kind of the gist?
Right.
Of
I wanted to stay neutral as much as possible, just because working for the federal government, working for working for the Department of the Army, I didn't want to sit there and really get into anything that might be, I don't know, controversial or whatever. There we go. Hold on.
Whoa.
I am very non-confrontational and did not want to sit there and have vastly different opinions than my coworkers and stuff like that. So if I just didn't go to it, didn't go there, it would be just a lot easier to not even go there by being in that situation. So, but now that I'm not there anymore, we are sitting here and watching these shows, and I do have opinions, and I do see what is going on, and I don't like it. There's certain things that just really irritate me, and I do have an opinion about it.
And like I said, it's not just about news or current affairs. We could be watching American Idol.
Yeah.
And Steve will go, pause, because he needs to discuss something or give an opinion or an insight. So the other day we were watching one of those shows, and he's like, that's what I want to do, is like, let's watch something and let's pause it and give our take on it. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, hello, that's Keith. A lot of people.
You're out of focus for some reason.
Well, yeah. Well, the cat's going to be in good focus as soon as that's because the autofocus needs to be probably turned off. But a lot of people, if you're watching them on a regular basis, like a Megyn Kelly, like a Brandon Tatum, the cat is really interested in the fact that they can see themselves in the camera. He's like, what's up there? What's going on? And cutting Daddy part way off. Just don't give everybody the butt, okay, sir? Sir. Yep, he's going to turn around and give everybody the butt. Now he's going to start rubbing the cameras with his... go get in your bed.
There's a good spot for you.
Anyway, they have a different take because they're like known media personalities. And I think some of them play to the algorithm, play to what they think people want to hear. And I think they play to what is bringing money in.
Right. And we're not that way. We are not to that point. We're not monetized. We don't have all that stuff.
We'll never be that way. I'll always give my own opinion. But
the fact that, Megyn Kelly, for example, most of the other shows that are out there are talking how there's a flip-flop. She was one way at one time and then swung another way and now swinging back. And people are like, okay, what's the cause behind that? Why would you make those changes? And they're pretty significant changes of opinion.
And I think it's because there's money. I think there's an awful lot of radicals that are watching those shows, that especially when it comes to conspiracy theories and lunacy and craziness and that stuff out there. I mean, it's been out there for decades and decades. It's not something new. JFK conspiracies, because they don't believe the American government. They don't believe we're told the truth. And I think on a lot of things we're not, but a lot of things are speculation. And you can, excuse me, you can see anything you want to see if you convince yourself that it's there.
Right. Right. There's a lot of sources out there, and what you view and what you choose to accept, it's your opinion. It's always been your own opinion.
Right, but it's your opinion. But if you want to, so for instance, if you say, and this happened to me a long time ago. Someone broke in my house many, many, many years ago, came into my house and came through my sliding glass door and came and stood literally right next to my bed. Now, I had a weapon, and my girlfriend was staying with us that night, and she was like 9 months pregnant. And I reached over and put my hand over her belly to protect her belly because I thought it was her ex. And I thought it looked like the person had a knife or something in their hand. Needless to say, he reached behind him, opened the bedroom door, and ran out the bedroom, around the kitchen, through the garage, out the door, and ran away. Never knocked anything over. So that tells me somebody knew.
They knew the layout.
They knew the layout of our house. Well, we went, obviously, and I had a couple Marines over that night. It's back at Camp Lejeune. And we all ran around. We all started looking. We started chasing. My husband freaked out. Everybody's freaking out. And I was staring into the back field behind the house. And there's, fence posts and different things. And for staring for so long, I kept saying, I think he's out there. I think I can see him. After so long, you could see movement. So you convince yourself that's a person or that something is moving. And needless to say, my cousin Johnny was there. He was much older than me. Very sexy Marine. I used to call him my mean green fighting machine. He and a couple of the Marines that were with him, they all went out, and a couple other Marines and my husband stayed behind to protect the house and the women there. And they sent basically a team out where I said I was seeing him. And they were literally like geared up and ready for battle. And they went directly into the place that I said he was, or where I could see movement. And of course, they're watching the entire time they're going. So they're observing everything. These are Marines. Mm-hmm. They're not going to not see somebody if he gets up and runs because he sees them coming. And there was nothing. And even when they got out to the position, he's like, it's a fence post. Mm-hmm. And there was no sign of any person ever even being there. Like none of the grass wasn't broke down. There was no signs of somebody. But I had convinced myself, because I believed it and I stared at it long enough, that I convinced myself that's where he was. Yeah. And there was movement. And I tell that little story because we can do the same thing with politics. We can do the same thing with conspiracy theories. You can find the things that lead you down those rabbit holes if you want to see them. If you want to believe them, if you want to believe that we set charges and took down the towers in 9/11, you can find all the little things that can convince you that happened. If you believe that it was airplanes and that it was a terrorist attack, you will believe the things that lead to that. And is it something in between? Is it both at the same time? Is it one or the other? But conspiracies sell.
Mm-hmm.
It's why people read mystery novels. It's why people read action adventure novels. It's why people watch those type of shows. Murder, crime, and conspiracies sell. And when you have an influx of people and your channel is growing by those people, and when I say that, I mean these people that believe in that type of stuff, they will watch for days. They will watch for hours. They get consumed with it to the point that they do nothing but eat that, live that, dream that, sleep that. Can you stop licking, please? But it's a continuous thing. So the algorithms are still somewhat based on time consumption. So when they can see that there are people that are staying on there and watching you for 2.5 hours every single day because they want to hear, they are waiting bated breath for that next thing you're going to drop, even though you never drop anything. I'll give it to you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah, I can't show you, but I know.
Right.
You know, I'm on the in. And it gets these people to watch. Whereas somebody else, they might watch for 5 minutes. They might watch for 30 seconds. They might watch for the whole show.
Yeah.
But it's not bringing in the same numbers. And those numbers equate to what?
It's money, yeah.
Dollar signs.
It all comes back to money.
So, and I don't think they care about the people they're losing because they're gaining the radicals by the droves.
Yeah, so the like I said, everybody has the right to get their opinion. But as things change and people go through there and give all the new conspiracies and the new points of view, you know, the being able to ensure that people are provided the unbiased opinion is one thing that's really, I think is really an issue right now, because there's a lot of people that are going through there and they eat up all this, and I don't understand it. You know, sometimes it's like there's no way that some of this stuff possibly could have happened. So what is it that we're doing to try and make sure that we get the right information, get the true information, because there's a lot of false out there, a lot of false, and it's really, really taking us down a bad rabbit hole as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think it's putting people in a place that is all consuming, and I think it's really unhealthy. And I even found myself where I have to watch certain people or certain things on a daily basis. And I at the same time, I've never been a follower. I've always been a leader. So I get consumed with a thing. But when I see that it's going in a direction I don't want to be a part of, I separate myself. I can stop. Like, I went down that rabbit hole of Scientology when all of the people were going out and they were doing all the stuff. And I even went down to one, and I was like, ooh, that'll be fun. And I saw that they were putting themselves in harm's way, and I saw that this could turn into a place I didn't want to go. I've never been in trouble, and I don't want to start by being arrested for stalking or for harassment or for whatever, or assault, because I defend myself and they can convince the law enforcement that they were targeted. So I pulled back from it. I still watch it every now and then because I'm like, okay, what's new in the, you know? And now when I do catch up on it, it's like Days of Our Lives. You can get on there and I can watch one episode and I've caught up last.
Right back where you were, where you left off.
All the same players, different shtick, but you know what's happening now. And there's so much drama in it. I don't like drama. I like action adventure, but I don't like drama. You know, I'm not a Mean Girls drama driven person, so I don't really care for that side of it. But I can pull myself back from it if I need to. You know, I pulled myself back from all the politics all the time because it's not healthy. Like, you need to have other things, other interests, other things going on in your life, or you can find yourself just so consumed with it that you see nothing else. And I think that's part of the problem, and that is what has caused relationship relationship issues between spouses and families, because the cat is playing with one of the cords, with spouses and families and siblings and I don't mean families aren't siblings, but siblings should be very close. And if they have a different political opinion, you can turn on your brother.
Yeah.
And siblings are also not necessarily related, but I mean by your brother, your military brother, your firefighter brother, your law enforcement brother, your teacher's brother. You know, you can turn on your brother by them having a different opinion, because we have lost the art of debate.
Well, not just the art of debate. I mean, because sometimes it doesn't even have to be a debate. You know, we've lost the art of being able to sit down and actually listen to somebody else's opinion without going off the deep end.
Yeah.
You know, why we've done that, I don't know. But, you know,
communication is
really in trouble right now. I mean,
yeah, because it's my side or right. And if you disagree with me,
it's my way or the highway.
I'll beat you up.
Yeah. And
Shut up, Steve. I'm talking.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, that's how it is.
Right. So we need to sit there and that's one of the things that I think is really, I think.
So I have a question about that. When we are watching a show and you pause it or I pause it, do we always agree?
No, we don't. And we don't have to.
Exactly.
But we have to be
But do we talk
civilized. We have to be civilized enough to give the other person the chance to give their point of view. And then you actually sit down there and you discuss it. You
debate about it. You discuss it. You communicate. Right. And you might come to their side.
You may sway. They may sway.
It's
back and forth.
Or you may neither sway. You may say, I just don't see it that way.
Right.
And when you find yourself getting into that impasse place where neither one of us are going to sway, neither one of us are going to bend, I do not see it that way, you can find something else to talk about. We've gotten into, and we don't get into fights about it at all. We get into deep discussions about it. And when we either one of us start feeling like, okay, this is enough, we will literally go find something else to watch.
Right.
And it might be about RVs. It might be about a tiny house.
Something that is.
It might be a TV show.
Right.
Anything
something that is just kind of a mundane type of distraction.
Yeah, because we've realized, okay, one of us is getting heated or both of us are getting heated and we're getting divided. And I don't want to be divided. And that's what's happening in the country, though, because it's so polarizing, though, that they can't stop and separate and put something else on. No, instead, they add to that friction and they continue with that friction. And when you have people in this country who are normal, everyday people, someone who wears a shirt that says "be kind" while bashing in a thing about Donald Trump. How can that is an oxymoron in itself, that you can wear a shirt saying "be kind"?
Those are the types of things that I don't understand. I mean, people have the right to their opinion. Got it. I'm not going to deny somebody the right to their opinion. But to put forward a face of, oh, I'm this calm, relaxed, non-confrontational, I'm not going to,
I believe everybody deserves love.
Yeah, you're in that viewpoint, but then you present that persona, but then you open your mouth and people realize what your persona is.
Or your actions.
Yeah, they're not
are violent.
They're not what you're advertising. They're I mean, talk about false advertising. When somebody says "be kind," and because they're wearing a shirt that says that, but yet they're going through there and
but they're holding a sign that says "kill Trump."
Yeah, that's really being kind. I mean, it's a complete difference. Don't sit there and try and pretend you're one thing, but in reality, your actions show that you're totally different. That's
now,
not who you are.
Who do you feel is really a big part of making this worse? Do you feel it's the media, or
I think the media has a huge play in it.
The mainstream media, legacy media, or YouTubers and citizen journalists. And I can speak as an actual journalist. I have a degree in journalism.
Right.
I worked in journalism. I was a reporter for many years. I just never went. When I saw that it was so liberal and I was fighting with people at my news, I couldn't stay doing it on a full time. And then I had, my other stuff. But when I see them controlling it and saying words like, I know the people involved, or I have an inside track, or I know. And I'm referring to people like Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson. They have this higher than almighty attitude, like you're a peon and you don't actually know anything. You're too dumb to know the people I know, so I know the inside track. People call me and give me the deets, but they never give anything.
Right. The thing is, okay, we've known for a long time that legacy media is very polarized. You have certain legacy media organizations, they have a very specific agenda in place. They have one direction that they want to go, and that's it. They're not going another direction. It seemed like for the longest time, your citizen journalists were generally the ones that were a lot more open to be able to express alternate opinions.
Well, and I see the citizen journalists as not legacy journalists that moved to a different platform and are doing it on their own. I still see them somewhat as legacy media. Like Megyn Kelly going from mainstream channels, broadcast, to her own thing and making the Megyn Kelly Network. and building her own thing. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. He was fired and then he went and built his own thing where he's allowed to give a little bit more of his own opinion. And they both have the right to their opinions too. But it seems to me like they really do a lot of swaying and trying to push a certain thing.
And not just that. Like I said, that's the one thing where, you know, we've seen that they've switched back and forth. I mean, they seem like they left the legacy media because the direction that it was going was not aligned with what their thoughts were. And so they went out to a citizen. They became a citizen journalist, and they started talking what it was that they really believed. But then they turn around and later on they switch back to what they were originally talking, what they were fighting against. And that's the part that really kind of gets me is, why are you going to sit there and, you know, leave the legacy media because you don't have the same beliefs. You go in, become a citizen journalist, you express your beliefs, but then later on as a citizen journalist, you go back to the same beliefs that were originally what you were saying you were against. So you just do that flip-flop, and I don't understand why did they just stay with the legacy? I mean, that's where they were at.
Right.
They were making...
It makes you wonder, why did they switch up? Why did they go to this other side of it? Why are they defending, you know, and I used to really love Tucker Carlson. I loved Megyn Kelly. But I will tell you, when I see them saying and doing certain things, that is when I get to where I'm like, okay, same thing with the Scientology. Back up a minute and evaluate. Do I want to consume these people who are also, in my opinion, demonstrating hate towards our country or hate towards our president? When you have somebody like Tucker Carlson saying that he's complicit in Trump being this dictator that I don't see a dictator. When you allow people to have protests.
Stop, right. Okay. That's one of the things that, you know, is one of those oxymorons right off the bat that I always have to comment on. You know, the Democratic Party, if you look at it, they're leaning heavily to a socialist or that type of a system. Well, guess who leads a socialist system? Generally, it is someone who is a dictator or someone who is a king or someone who is a one-stop shop for all authority. That is generally what is considered a socialist type of atmosphere, a socialist type of government. And they're saying how Trump is this big socialist or this big dictator in that, but yet what are they actually trying to do as the Democrats? They're trying to bring in a socialist environment. You already, if you think he is that much of a dictator, you should be thrilled because that is a socialist type of atmosphere.
A dictator is a communist. Generally speaking, they're communists or socialists. So if you want communism and socialism and he's a dictator, wouldn't that be what you want?
Isn't that exactly what you're asking for?
Yeah.
That is the type of thing that actually drives me crazy.
And the reason why they argue with themselves on this aspect, babe, is because they don't really believe it. They don't really believe he's a dictator.
Right.
What they believe is Trump is that they are required by all the people to hate him, regardless of what he did. I mean, it's been said time and time again, he could save a puppy from a river and, you know, his own hands, like on all suddenly driving down the road with all the news crews
Just
and everybody
jumps off.
just sees and on the side of the road, oh my God, there's a puppy, and the whole entourage stops and cameras are still going. Nobody stops filming, and Trump, instead of having the Secret Service or somebody else jump out, he jumps out himself into the river and saves a drowning child and puppy and whatever, and the mother. He could save all of them, and then they would say he should have let them drown because
they're
Yeah.
so dead set on one thing, and that is
hate no matter what.
hate. And then that's the part
And
that
then
is,
wear a shirt that says "Be kind."
that's some of the stuff that really kills me, and why they're doing that. I don't quite understand.
It makes no sense to me. So we have 10 minutes left. I pulled up one video. I'm not sure where she's at in this video, so it might be like not at the right moment. But I want to watch this and comment and discuss this for their last 10 minutes. Now I'm gonna pause there for a second. And just because he wrote a letter to Netanyahu saying you need to appeal to these young people doesn't mean he was going against Israel, doesn't mean he was turning his back on Israel or leaving the support for Israel. He was trying to give advice like he had been doing forever. And we're talking about Charlie Kirk. He always gave advice to leaders that listened to him. Some took his advice, some did not. Some took his advice into account and might have had it there on the back of their mind when they were making a decision or doing something. There's many things that he gave advice to Donald Trump about how to appeal to the youth, how to appeal to the college age students and others. And some he took and some he did not. And Charlie was never a all the time Trumper. He was also one of those people that when he disagreed with him, he voiced his disagreement. And he was never like, okay, I'm all Trump all the time. That's where I'm at. I'm not all Trump all the time. If I disagree with something or I don't like something he did or said, I will say something about it. So let's get back to this. And sorry, I didn't mean to not put that on the screen, but now it's on the screen.
Spewed by some loud voices on the young right. We actually read the entirety of Charlie's letter, the one that he had sent to Bibi Netanyahu. We read it on the show because it was being cherry picked and misconstrued. We read the whole thing. You should go read it.
And that's another part of it is, remember how I was talking about, I was able to see a guy that was actually a fence post out there watching the house and moving because I wanted it to be so.
Yeah.
If you take statements, video clips, letters, whatever, and you only cherry pick the part out of it that
you
meets
want,
your agenda,
you can modify an intent by cherry picking specific pieces out of just about any document. You can make it say just about anything you want. It's when you have the ability and you actually look at the entirety of the document that sometimes your opinion will be different because you need to know the entire thing. Everything
and
that was said
today
in there.
with modern technology and AI and everything else, you can take something and you can modify it to where it looks very accurate. And a little example of that is not AI, but back when I was a kid and my parents were diplomats, if we got personal letters from home, our friends, whatever, we had to read them, and then they got turned over to security if we wanted to keep them. They had to keep them at the embassy in safeguarding. We couldn't keep our communications in our house because we lived in a communist country, and they could steal it, take it, and then they could use that handwriting. They could use statements. They could modify something and make it look like we did something or something was going on, or be able to kill somebody or do something.
Right.
So anyway.
Or watch the episode if you haven't read it. All this being said, this is why, okay, and talk about why it matters. Take a look.
Once he said that he's sorry that he endorsed Trump, he regrets it and feels like he has to make amends. And his show is doing fine. Tucker. It's not like he's hurting for audience, but I think he's understanding there may be some new listeners over here. You know, like he's gotten very, very popular lately, I read, with Muslim viewers.
Okay.
Because he's been standing up for Islam.
The key in there is there are new listeners over here. That's telling me that
YouTube.
Right. But the way you talk about it though is, and the way you can take that, again, it's all about context. Mm-hmm. Over here, it's where she's at. She's on this side. And if you come over to this side, there's more listeners. There's new ones over here. So,
well, and YouTube, unlike like news outlets, YouTube reaches the entirety of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can get those viewers from Iran, from over there where they're boosting Tucker in Iran because of his support of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people there. Now, those same people are not over here watching Fox.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff. So that's where let's keep going with it.
You know, and I have to tell you, Mark, it's been something I've noticed just since I've gotten sort of more clear-eyed on Israel, that a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that's put out there originates with people who are very, very pro-Israel, who kind of need us to demonize them. Right. And I've taken a look recently at my own rhetoric on this to say, like, have I been manipulated? I want to make sure I'm not getting manipulated. But I think he's having a lot of Muslim viewers flock to him. I know for a fact he has a lot of young men flocking to him. And so while he may have lost some contingent of the Fox News audience that's very, very pro-Israel and pro-Trump, and you can't say anything about Trump, for every one of those who leaves, there is another newer, younger audience member who does want to hear these traditional lines challenged and hear just new independent thinking. I mean, I'm experiencing.
I don't know that it's independent thinking. I think it is manipulated thinking.
My piece of that is, you're right. It's not necessarily independent thinking. Again,
it's group thought.
Yeah, you're. There are so much out there right now. Trying to make sure that you're getting the entire picture isn't easy. There's so much information out there that you can't always absorb all of it to make your own opinion. And you tend to look at one source as being more accurate than another. And once somebody knows that they have what people are looking for as far as that source goes, they can sit there and they can start to craft the message the way they want it, because they know that they're getting you sucked in, and you're not going anywhere else. So now whatever I say is the truth. And
and you can see whatever you want to see if you really want that to be the case. And my concerns, and we only have 2 minutes left. My concern with the Tucker Carlson, and we'll talk about Candace Owens on another day, the Megyn Kellys, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens, and the other ones that are joining into this little group, is you're seeking out the money, the algorithm, and it seems like you're not looking at a bigger picture. You're looking at right now to monetize what you can for the moment. And then when that moment changes, you'll remonetize for that moment. And then you'll remonetize for that moment. And me as a layman, as a human being, as an American, as somebody who looks out, I see a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is not Muslims. Muslims are not the problem. The problem are Islam and radicalization and Sharia law, and do those values and those belief systems, do they
fit with
American values and our American system and what our founding country was founded upon, which is God and liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Not for men. Because as a woman, and this is what has made me stop watching Megyn Kelly, as a woman, how can she defend Islam in any way, shape, or form? And if you can't see the bigger picture, and that's what I'm talking about, look at the bigger picture, not right now. You know, if you're trying to become an Olympian, you focus on getting to the Olympics. You focus on your skill. You focus on your
what it's going to take to get you there.
Right. And you focus on your performance. Your one performance you got to do to win that thing. And if you do that, you're not going to see anything else around you. And that's what I see is happening, is it's only a focus on that one thing and not seeing a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is when you look at places like in Michigan, the couple places in Texas that it's happening to, the couple places in different areas that things are happening where they're taking over the city councils, they're taking over the county commissions, they're taking over the school boards, and they're bringing things in that are really, really bad. And yes, Megyn Kelly said something, and I'll wrap this up. Megyn Kelly said something that I can kind of agree with when it comes to Islam. And that was her statement about them and their belief system on modesty with women. Okay, I can understand to a point of that. Like, I don't like seeing a young girl looking like a hoochie mama on 4th Street to go hang out with her friends at the mall. I do think that dress is inappropriate. I think she shouldn't be dressed that way. I think she shouldn't look like she's a hooker. And there's a comedian out there that says, if you dress the part, I'm going to treat you as the part. If you're dressed on the side of the road and walking around on the sidewalk like a police officer and I have an emergency, I'm going to run over to you and say, hey, officer, I need help. And he turns around and said, oh, I'm not an officer. I just dress like this. Well, if you're a hooker and you dress like a hooker and you look like a hooker, you're probably going to get treated like a hooker. But the beauty of our country is that we have freedom. And the freedom is that if you want to dress like that, you can dress like that. You can act that way. You can do those things. And there shouldn't be any overseeing power that says you can't dress that way in your own home or doing your own thing. And that's where Islam, I start to disagree with, because if you want modesty in your home and with your family and your children or your daughters or whatever, it should start in the home. It should start with the parents, the mothers and the fathers saying, oh, you're not leaving like that.
Right. Very true. Very true.
And not relying on some government entity to make a rule or a law based on that. So that's my take on those little things. We will do more tomorrow. We're going just a couple minutes over because of the fact that, by over, I mean it's 10:30. we didn't really get fully started until 9:30, and we're planning on coming on at 9 a.m. So if you want to join us, come in. We will be here Monday through Friday. We're not doing it on the weekends unless there's some breaking news or something going on. And our content is not going to be a specific content. It's going to be us discussing hot topics, life, current affairs.
Yeah, what's going on in the
projects that we might be working on, all those different things. But we want you to come and join us. We'll be honest and truthful and give our true, honest opinion. I'm not bought or sold by anyone. And I'm not going to say they couldn't give me their money, but I probably would be fired real quick because I would give an opinion they might not like at some point in time.
Very true.
But we'll be here 9 o'clock. And hopefully we'll be on time at 9 o'clock. We had a few little issues getting everything up and going this morning, but I'm back and my husband's going to join me, and
the cats and the
and
dogs.
the cats and the dogs and the fish and the birds and we don't have fish and birds. We do have rabbits, though. If you want me to bring my bunny on so you can see my little bunny, I can bring my bunny on occasionally. I have to hold him because I don't trust putting him down. I mean, he has his own room, but I don't trust putting either one of the bunnies down with the cats and the dogs all in here. You guys would not like the noise that we cut, and nobody would die. They all love each other. They all hang out together, but it would be entertaining, needless to say. Well, thank you for joining us, and please come and join us every day.
Join
we'll
us.
Have a cup of coffee. We'll shoot the shit and have a cup of coffee and talk about what's going on. Because, like my cup says, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Let's make it fine every day.
Sounds good to me.
You gonna say goodbye? Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.
All right. See you guys later. Come and join us. Have a great day.